One bowler made all the difference between Delhi and Rajasthan last night. The crowd got the entertainment that they'd asked for. A super over finally, the first one for the tournament, but one player really stood above everyone else, and that was Mitchell Starc. Yes, the same Aussie Starc who's come under fire in the past for his average or below average IPL stints, but somehow still pulls in the big bucks. So what did he do last night? Well, he bowled Yorkers, and not just one or two, a whole series of them. That last over was menacing in all the ugly ways you can think of if you were a Rajasthan batter, trying to score 9 runs. Starc just had 9 runs to defend in that last over after Mohit Sharma wrapped up his spell, the previous one, that saw a huge 6. So pressure was on the bowling unit, and particularly on Starc. The lanky Australian pacer nailed Yorker after Yorker through the over, and just one delivery though fell a tad short, but I'd be nitpicking here. He pushed the game to a super over and came back in there to finish the job. Another clinical over to restrict Rajasthan to just 11 in a super over. It was pure genius at work, which made his captain, Axar Patel, heap all praise, attributing Delhi's win to Starc's precision.
He bowled almost 12 Yorkers. That's why he's such an Australian legend. I guess he missed only one ball as far as execution was concerned. The field was changed, but he kept at it. He won the game in the 20th over.
Pulling off what was a near-perfect display of quality fast bowling, making the great Steyn say that's why he gets the big bucks. Now, there's a bit of history to that statement, though. Sure, Starc is worth every penny spent, but he somehow has had a mixed IPL experience overall. Take his stint with Bengaluru, where he first got picked up in that 2014-2015 cycle. Of course, it was a time when he was the Aussie star in their 2015 ODI World Cup win, but somehow that did not materialize for him while at Bengaluru. He even got injured, rejigging everything for him thereon. Of course, there was a massive break, and he came back into the IPL, where he was picked up by Kolkata and was the highest paid in that auction. He started off rather slow last season, just when the murmurs of overpaid and underperform was getting louder. Starc made sure he starred in Kolkata's title-winning efforts. And that was last year, but now with Delhi in 2025, he's probably bowled his very best spell and under pressure.
Just backed my execution, running in with a clear plan. Sometimes it comes off, a bit of luck goes a long way. It was a fantastic game, happy to get on the right side. I've played long enough for everyone to know what I do, but if I execute, then I know I'll get by. A bit of luck goes a long way.
In fact, it has been quite the turnaround story for this Australian. Starc won just one Player of the Match award in the first 39 games that he played at the IPL, and won 4 Player of the Match awards for the next 8 games. That's quite a transition. So what really helped him last night? The fact that he was really in the zone. He was the most impactful Delhi bowler, and he was not flustered by any of the pressure that was mounting. Maybe also Rajasthan not picking the informed Nitish Rana for that super over, who had in fact struck a 50 just earlier while they were batting. But there are a few points in my head regarding these choices. Sure, Rana was looking good, but he had not faced Starc during his 50. But nor had Riyan Parag, the batter who actually went out for that super over, and he was batting, and especially since Hetmeyer, his partner there, was the last one standing for Rajasthan, which many found rather strange. Probably that's what pumped up Starc too. Or could it be all the criticism that he's always faced of being overpaid in the IPL? Whatever it was, he came through for an IPL franchise, and that made more headlines. Another reason that he gave the ICC Champions Trophy, that was prior to this, a skip. At first, the talks were that it was owing to personal reasons, but he had to clarify after Australia's exit from the tournament that he had had an ankle soreness, which he wanted to tend to, apart from his personal leave of absence, and wanted to be fresh for the IPL in particular and the WTC final, the World Test Championship, which is still a whole while away, and that would of course depend on how much he strains himself here in these subcontinent conditions for the IPL. Either way, Australia's loss is clearly Delhi IPL franchise's game.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.